different because rate compares two values, so it's a comparison of different units, okay? And I want you to highlight that on your paper. It's the top of page 16. It's different units. Let's talk about rate of pay. Does anyone know what the rate, how much you get paid per hour is in Ontario right now for minimum wage? So right now, if you get a part-time job in Ontario, and if you're minimum wage, if you're, how old do you have to be to get a job here? 16? 18? 16, depends. You get paid $11 per hour. Okay, this slash means per, so for every 1 hour, you're getting $11. That's your rate. And if the more hours you work, so if I worked 2 hours, how much would you get if you worked 2 hours? $22, okay? And you can see that it's increasing by $11 for every single hour. So these are different units. We're looking at money, dollars, and time, hours, okay? Those are different units. That's why that's called a rate. So let's say I tell you that the rate at which somebody's getting paid is $40 for every 4 hours. So $40 per 4 hours. That would not be the unit rate because unit means one, okay? That means the rate for one. How would you calculate how much this person's getting paid in 1 hour? If they get $40 in 4 hours, so $40 for every 4 hours, what would you do to calculate how much they got paid in 1 hour? What would you do to calculate that? Just like yesterday with ratio, rate can be written as a fraction as well. $40 for every 4 hours. And I want to know what that is in 1 hour. What operation would you do? What operation did you do? Division. So we take $40 and divide it by 4. What do we get? This person's only getting $10 per hour. They're getting less than minimum wage, okay? So to calculate the unit for one, we're going to divide the total by the number, okay? So we're going to look at number 1. So example 1 is the car is traveling 150 kilometers for every 2 hours. I want to know the unit rate. How far does the car travel for every 1 hour? And we can do what we did yesterday with setting this up as a proportion. Okay, so I can write this as 150 over 2 is equal to something. We want to know how many kilometers in 1 hour, right? Remember this yesterday? Remember we did this way as well? How did I get from here to here? Remember it's only by division or multiplication. Okay, you could cross multiply, but I'm showing you the other way. 2, to get to 1, would I multiply or divide? Divide, because it's smaller. 2 divided by what is 1? 2 divided by 2 is 1. So what do I have to do to the numerator? Divide by, Alejandro? Good. What's 150 divided by 2? 75. That means that the unit rate, this car travels 75 kilometers per hour. That's the rate at which it's traveling. Every hour it's traveling 75 kilometers. This one says that the water drips from a tap at 1,000 milliliters for every 15 minutes. I want to know what is the unit rate. How many milliliters per 1 minute? Here's the way that it's written. Here's the rate question. But once again, you can write this as a fraction. How would I write this as a fraction? How would it be written? Excellent. 1,000 over 15 would be equal to, this is unknown, let's call that x, the number of milliliters, over what? 1. So there's 2 ways you can do this again. We can cross multiply like we did yesterday, or you can find what's referred to as the scale factor. How did I get from here to here? The number is getting smaller, so would you multiply or divide? 15 divided by what is 1? Anytime you divide a number by itself, you get 1. So what do you have to do to the numerator? Divide by, so you're actually doing 1,000 divided by 15. And what's the final answer, Alejandro? Sorry, what is it? 66.6, it was repeating, right? Okay, so the rate is approximately, let's say 60, let's round it up to 67 milliliters for every 1 minute.